Hey, it's been a while since I've gotten to talk face to face with you. I'm RainbowRager, but you could just call me Eddi. Eddi without the second E. But that's not the name I used to go by. In fact, why am I even introducing myself? You probably already know me, and a lot of people already know me. What am I saying? Let me start again. Hi, I'm RainbowRager, but you can just call me Eddi. But that's not the name I used to go by. I used to run this channel with a different name. My name's Ethan. That's my real name, and that's the name that my viewers refer to me as. But I don't use that name anymore here. But why am I changing my name? I want to find a way to separate the new and old version of me. The old me is in the past, and I'm starting again. I'm finally getting the chance to be the kind of person that I want to be, and that would be getting the chance to go by a name I feel more comfortable in. It's been a long time since I've made a normal video like this, and talking to the viewers, and that's because a lot of things had happened in the past. And I think it's time that I finally talk about what's going on and in the future so I can clear things up. So let's start with the most basic question. What just happened? Well, a while back, I recently finished the last episode of my animated series of fantasy, and spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, Ethan, that's me, dies at the end, and I haven't been the same since. I just want to briefly talk about why the fantasy series ended like it did. First of all, I don't want people to think that my plans for ending the series after episode 10 was abrupt. It wasn't. I was planning on executing episode 10 the way it did for months, and I've been wanting to get to it for a long time because there were so many ideas that I wanted to get into after the series. And also, I genuinely wasn't expecting the series to gain so much support, especially nearing the end of it. You guys seemed to really like it, and I'm glad that you did. But admittedly, making each episode was a difficult and time-consuming process, and there was no way I would have been able to stretch the series for any longer. I had a lot of fun with having the characters interact with each other, and at least try to give each character their personality, but animating all of that was too much on my poor hands. So I decided to give it only 10 episodes, and the only way that I could have somewhat give the series a conclusion was to kill myself, so that I can integrate a new concept of what happens when a fantasy finishes. Now, if you haven't been around before here, you likely have noticed that a number of my past community posts on this channel have been very ominous. All of these community posts are meant to be connected to the lore, because I'm dead. Originally, I really wanted to finish and be done with a fantasy, so that way I can go back to making my regular animated topics. One thing I learned about being a YouTuber trying to grow your community is that you need to understand what topics bring people in. The algorithm is unpredictable, but once you understand what topics and titles seem interesting to the internet, you'll find out what exactly is worth making. And, unfortunately, I've noticed that a fantasy was not growing as much on my channel. The views and click rate was very low. I could only assume that people didn't enjoy it as much. But I didn't just want to abandon this series. It would be more satisfying if I at least gave the series a conclusion. Thus, why I came up with the idea that I'll end it with me dying by episode 10. But then another idea hit me. I thought it would have been weird if I just died at the end of the series and then just continued making videos again like nothing happened. I worried that people would connect a fantasy to my channel, because in some way they are connected. So I tried to be creative. The last few ominous posts I've left on my channel since episode 10 released were all meant to be connected to the story and the channel itself, because I'm dead. But it turns out that everyone who saw those posts took it in a completely different direction. A lot of people were genuinely concerned about me and were worried that something bad happened to me. I mean, something bad did happen, but I'm referring to the character, not IRL me. So, I'm sorry if I worried you, that wasn't the point. But anyway, to finally address what's been going on, I made this video. It's over. This video is very different from what I used to make. This video basically shows a plot that happens right after I died in episode 10, but also finds a way to connect it to my channel and my IRL self. It takes place in the after fantasy. See what I did there? It's like after life, but it's after fantasy. What I like about this video is that it's a very subtle blend of a fantasy, my channel, and my IRL self, as a way to come back to become one again. I made this video as a way for me to transition, to regroup myself, and start my channel back again, but with more quality and different visuals. And speaking of which, yep, if it wasn't already obvious, I look very different. My art style has changed, and why exactly am I changing art styles? there's a bit of a reason behind it. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but I'll say it here. If you didn't already know, the art style that I used on this channel is actually based on Animal Crossing, and my character design is heavily based on my actual Animal Crossing character, but I've modified it a bit so it looks better. And speaking of Animal Crossing, if you're familiar with the game, New Horizons in particular, you probably have noticed that my new studio looks like it's in Animal Crossing. Because it is. I plan on using Animal Crossing to make backgrounds and sets for videos because drawing backgrounds by hand is a pain in the ass. Anyway, back to the art style. The Animal Crossing art style I've used for this channel has been great. I love my Animal Crossing art style because it's simple and easy to recreate, especially when I'm doing animation. But I gotta admit, over time, I've not been as happy with it. Sure, I've gotten better, but with how simple it is, it gets kind of boring. And I know, it doesn't have to be complex to be good. But lately, I've been trying out different art styles because I'm kind of bored of using the same one. So now, this will be my new art style for videos. I think this art style is better because there's more versatility to it. And if you hate this art style and prefer my old one, sorry, but I'm glad to know that you actually like my Animal Crossing art style. At least this one I'm using for the time being, it's completely original. Okay, let me come back to the A Fantasy series. I didn't think that you guys would actually enjoy this series as much. With how little views it makes in comparison to my regular animated topics, I thought this project was a complete flop. But apparently, a lot of you liked it, despite its many flaws. A lot of you guys have been demanding for a continuation and maybe a season 2. That is going to be a big project if I were to go with that. I don't want to say much right now, but I'll give you this. Am I officially done with A Fantasy and I will not plan to come back to this series again? No. At least, I don't want to. Despite its difficulties, making the series was fun in some ways, and seeing many people enjoy the series, you've motivated me to want to come back to it again. But please don't take that as information that I'm continuing the series right away, because I really need to take a break from writing stories and heavy animation. Honestly, there is a lot about this series that I can talk about, but I don't think I can put it all into this video. So, in the future, I will be making another separate video to discuss the entire series, the backstory, the lore, my thoughts, and any future plans I have. So, if you're interested in seeing what I have to say about A Fantasy all on its own, let me know if that's something you want to see. But for now, what's gonna happen to my channel? Truthfully, not much is really gonna change. I still want to talk about stuff and random things that may seem interesting or relatable to the viewers because it's what I do best, and it's what I've had the most fun with when I've worked on this channel, and I don't plan on changing that at all throughout the entire time I plan on being here. The only thing that's really going to change are the visuals, but besides that, it will always be the same person behind making these videos. Just little old me wanting to be relatable and talk about stuff that may be fun to talk about, and I know a lot of people enjoy that, and I enjoy making them, so I have no reason to stop. At least for a short while, the next few videos I have planned to make after this one are going to be the same animated topics like I usually do, but with my new style. And I hope you'll stick around for that, even with the change. And that pretty much wraps it up. Wow, I just want to say thank you for all the support that I received on this channel for the past 3 years. This channel has been one of my greatest passions, and knowing that so many people are out there appreciating the content that I push out, whether it's a fun topic or a controversial topic, you guys want to keep listening to me. And that warms my heart. I've grown a lot on this channel, and I want to know how much more I can keep going. Of course, it's safe to say that my YouTube journey wasn't always the brightest. I've had many highs and many lows on this channel, but I want to keep going no matter what. As my channel has continued to grow, especially within these past few months, my channel has received tons of love, but tons of hate as well. I've dealt with many mean people and trolls on the internet trying to bring me down and make me look like a horrible person, just because I'm different from them. At the time, dealing with so much hate from many internet users was one of the biggest challenges I had to overcome while being here. It really isn't fun being bombarded with hate and mean comments, especially if I'm not even doing anything illegal or legitimately horrible. My main purpose on YouTube is to find a place for me to express myself the way I want, and to share my life, as a way for other people to resonate with that. And I totally understand if many people don't like that. It's the internet and society. People are gonna make fun of you no matter what you do, so why even bother? I'm here on YouTube because I want to be myself, and if you don't like that, F you. No, you're entitled to your opinion and that's fine. I only want to surround myself around people that care about me and enjoy the content I make. It's the only way I can feel motivated to keep going. So feel free to leave as much support if you want me to keep going. Or not. At this point, I'm used to it. But I'm not encouraging that. I still have so much left to share here, and I hope you'll be a part of that journey. If anything I've made on this channel resonated with you in some way, I'm glad that I became a part of your life. And this is only the beginning of Eddi, the new me,